please. Come on.
Goodbye, Benny.
Mumbury, the makings and ratings of Inception. Take it away.
So that's the reason why there was so much hype behind this movie. All right, because Nolan had literally just been building and building and building. He arguably made the greatest superhero movie we've ever seen in Dark Knight. Right, Dark Knight Rises was coming, heavily anticipated, and then between those movies, he decided to do his own movie, Inception.
Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing.
The studio just said, "Here's 150 mil. Do whatever you want to do. Blank check. This is what directors love. Like this is what you work hard for. This is why you do the Dark Knight, so you can get 150 mil and make whatever you want."
One for them, one for me.
He went and got Leo. So he's got the number one actor. He's got the blank check, and you got the hottest director. And then this is what you make. This is honestly this is what you want. 2010, this movie comes out, blows up. I think I remember off the top it made like 60 mil opening, and then it just kept on going from there. So massive hit for an original movie. And this is what this movie like launched on the Nolan name, pretty much, from the director of Dark Knight or whatever. And obviously Prestige. So he had that going for him too. Rotten Tomatoes, 87, so critically acclaimed. Box office made 836 million. You have to if you look back or just look at the last couple of years and you look at movies that have made $800 million original. That's why it's Christopher Nolan. It's literally him, James Cameron. Like the only bigger directors than him, pretty much, are like James Cameron.
And like I just want y'all just to understand what Mumbury is saying right now, right? If you think of any movie at all that's crossing the $500 million mark, it's not just an IP. It's not just the 10th movie in the series. It's not just like a recast or live action version of the fucking Little Mermaid, and that didn't even touch it. This is an original movie that Christopher Nolan thought up in his fucking brain. This is directing at its peak.
IMDb 8.8 out of 10. Hans Zimmer was on a roll. So Hans Zimmer was already pretty big, but this is the start because he had this iconic, like the horns soundtrack. And then right after this, obviously he's done the Batman movie. He has Interstellar right after this. And the cornfield songs. So like literally this and Interstellar, I mean, you have to have those. The cast, that's the thing. So you got top directors.
Oh my god.
You got everyone showing up. Leonardo DiCaprio, we already talked about him.
Mm-hmm.
It's when it comes to, I don't know, he's not on the Tom Cruise, Will Smith, because those guys are more box office dudes. But then when you go to like the Denzel, Tom Hanks kind of guys who are like 50-50, Leo is like strictly, he doesn't give a shit about box office. It's like, dog, I'm gonna work with my guys, Scorsese, Spielberg. I'm gonna work with my guys, and I'm gonna only put out top tier content. And this is kind of like the mix. Like this is Leo doing a blockbuster. So for everyone that missed it, because I mean, Titanic obviously was the biggest movie of all time, but that was like before Leo had the juice.
Yeah.
So this is Leo with the juice doing a blockbuster, obviously. And now this is good timing because the trailer for his new movie with Scorsese just dropped, Killers of the Flower Moon. That's going to be sick. We also have Joseph Gordon-Levitt in here.
Say his name.
What's your favorite? Huh?
I was going to tell you to say his name. No. What's his name? Tom Hardy. That's my guy.
Tom Hardy, Mad Max.
Yep.
I mean, we've been on a Tom Hardy tear. Cillian Murphy.
Yep.
Or Cillian or Killian?
I pronounce it Cillian, but yeah, we know who you're talking about. Fisher.
It might be Killian.
Oh.
Obviously, Oppenheimer.
Yep.
So this was like the preview for that. He was Scarecrow in the Batman movie. So he's been like part of the Nolan crew for a bit.
Yep.
But now this is a big shot. Elliot Page from Judo. And then Marion Cotillard, we'll talk about her, but she plays the dead wife, spoiler alert, in this movie. She was in Dark Knight Rises. That's a French actress. Ken Watanabe, that's my guy.
Ken Watanabe, right? That's my, yes.
Last Samurai, he's a beast in Last Samurai. Godzilla, Memoirs of a Geisha, and then Michael Caine, who's just like, I mean, at this point, I think Christopher Nolan carries Michael Caine around at like a chain or some shit because he's in every goddamn movie. But yeah, so that's a cast, insane cast.
Yes,
and this movie, it's pretty cool because the way kind of that he like thought of this movie because it's the heist movie with the crew, but it's also supposed to mimic like the movie making process. That's why Cobb in this movie, Leo DiCaprio, kind of dresses like Christopher Nolan, but he's the director of the crew, and then Tom Hardy's the actor of the crew, and then Joseph Gordon-Levitt's the producer, and Cillian Murphy's the audience, right? So and then so he built it out like that, and then Elliot Page is the production designer, the architect. That's why they do this whole thing of like you have to make everything feel real. And actually, the opening scene when he's like touching the rug and it's like this is polyester. It's like, well, that's something a dope production designer would do, right?
Yeah.
It's not fake. Now we got the real shit.
We got that real shit. How can you fuck up the rug? Yes.
And then obviously Ken Watanabe, the boss. He's a studio, and he does shit like
funding the whole situation.
Yeah.
I don't want to step on anything, but one of my greatest lines about Ken Watanabe being the studio, and first of all, you describing this entire thing, I had no idea that this was a thought process or what, like the meta of what this movie was. I had no idea. I'm just looking at it as like a dream movie, but the way you explain it, it's obvious that it was. But that line when you say that Ken Watanabe was the studio in the movie, when he says, "Yeah, I bought the airline," I'm like, God, this motherfucker. I love when he says that. I love it.
Yeah.
Keep going. I'm sorry.
It's just this movie. It's really cool because it's a heist movie first and foremost, but it's a heist movie without like a overarching villain. Because most heist movies, like you think of like first heist, like probably our most iconic heist movie from our thing, like Oceans.
Yep.
Boom. There's a villain, and like as far back as Robin Hood, like there's a villain. You rob from him. Whether you give it to the poor, you keep it, but he deserves to get stolen from.
Yeah.
Right? That's the whole point. Like the audience, you want to root for the guy stealing shit. This movie is kind of weird because we're working for a villain, right? I mean, he says it's going to break up a monopoly, but I mean, who the fuck is this? We're working for one billionaire. We're working for a billionaire to stop another billionaire. But and then it turns out the other billionaires, it's like maybe the dad was a dickhead, but the son is just like, he just wants to have a relationship with his father. And then not only that, he joins the heist.
Yep.
So it's this weird kind of dynamic where it's a heist movie with no overarching villain, because one guy's on his deathbed and his son he's not even aware that there's a heist going on.
They're stealing ideas. They're implanting ideas. It's a fucking, I mean, in the beginning of the movie, he's like, I'm a dream. What was this called? I'm an idea thief. Whatever he called himself. It's fucking, it's amazing.